We're on day 33 of our 60-day healing journey to establish inner union. We're working to stop the self-abandonment, working to find inner stability and form true relationships with ourselves. We're on day 33, and the affirmation for today is, I do not need approval to trust myself. I do not need approval to trust myself. Are you someone that has a thought about something? Something inspires you from your internal self. Something inside of you just tells you something. You get a nudge. But then you backtrack and say, I wonder how everyone else will feel about this if I do it. So then you cancel out the idea, you cancel out the plan, you cancel out the goal because you created a story of how this is going to make everyone else feel. This affirmation is clearly stating, I do not need approval to trust myself. If myself tells me no, it's a no. I remember at one point, I would be concerned about how I made other people feel. And so I would shrink my energy a lot of times because of that. Or I would like hold back because I didn't want other people to feel uncomfortable. Or I would not state my opinion because I didn't want somebody else to feel like I was, I didn't want somebody else to feel lesser than. So I would hold back my opinion. Or if I saw something and I needed to speak it out, I would probably hesitate because I didn't want someone else to think, oh, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about. When I was well aware of what was happening and I was able to see it, I wouldn't speak up because I knew it was going to be a conflict. And so because I knew I wasn't going to get approval, I just fell back. But I had to learn, after going through multiple things, that when something tells you, when you get this inkling or you get this nudge that's telling you to move or say something, then you need to listen. You need to trust yourself, because not everyone will understand and not everyone will see. But guess what? You may be the black sheep in the group. You may be the one that's sent there to lead the situation, because everybody isn't going to have the same vision. But if you're tapped in and tuned in to a certain frequency and you are getting divine information, then you need to trust that. Everyone else won't approve of that because they don't have the same understanding. They haven't been elevated or have evolved to the same place that you are. So you need to trust yourself when yourself is telling you and guiding you, because you will help yourself in the end. And you might help other people by just trusting yourself. We're trying to get away from we're trying to get away from codependent situations. Codependency will keep you from evolving, because you always wait for somebody else to give you confirmation before you actually take a step. You'll always wait for someone to tell you that you're right. You'll always wait for an answer and validation for somebody else when yourself already knows. So this inner union journey is to help us create the relationship with ourselves where we begin to trust who we are. When we listen, we trust that ourselves are leading us in the right way. We trust that what is coming up for a reason. We trust that this process is all going in the right direction. We trust that this is all divine. So I don't need to have approval from someone else to trust myself. And that's one of my things now. When it comes to that, people who know you probably will say, if I feel like I need quiet time, I'm going to take it, because myself is saying, okay, it's time to recharge now. You got to just be alone for a little while. And it may make other people uncomfortable because they don't understand how your system, how your body operates, how your body and spirit operates. But if you do, and you know that I need to step away, I need to separate myself for a little while, it's not worrying about how other people feel when you have to walk away. It's that you trust yourself enough that when yourself is telling you and showing you something, you got to listen. So you don't need anybody else's approval for that. You have to know what's good for you, what's not good for you, what works for you, what doesn't, and trust yourself when yourself tells you. The somatic practice is slow breaths, shoulders relax. So we're doing more breathing exercises now. We're going to breathe in for 4 and out for 8. And we're just going to do that a few times, allow our nervous system to calm down, allow ourselves to get some regulation. And regulating your own self is very important, self-regulation. So whenever you feel yourself getting anxious, more tension, feeling nervous about something, take the time to breathe. Your breath brings you back to this present state. It brings you back to the now and calms you down and lets you get centered and grounded. The visualization is imagine approval coming from within. So we're going to visualize ourselves giving our own self-approval. That feels, to me, when I think about that, it feels strong. It feels mighty. For you to give yourself approval, for you to listen to yourself that's guiding you, that is a level of strength and confidence. And not many people possess that, because operating from the outside in will have you always looking for somebody else's validation, always looking for someone to guide you, always listening for someone to tell you it's okay. But when yourself gives you the approval, then you know it's okay. And just imagine how that feels. Visualize how strong that feels with you giving yourself approval. The journal prompt is, whose approval do I seek the most? Whose approval are you seeking the most? Are you looking for your family to give you approval? Your friends, your parents, your spouse, your children, your co-workers? Who are you looking for approval from? Because a lot of times we do this and we're not aware that we're actually doing it. And we could be doing it our whole lives and not making the decisions that we want to make because we're basing it off of somebody else's satisfaction, not wanting to let someone else down, not wanting to feel like you're abandoning somebody else, not wanting somebody else to feel abandoned, not wanting to not look loyal. That's a big one. A lot of times we don't want to look like we're not being loyal, so we don't allow ourselves to make the decision. We wait for the approval of whomever else is in the situation with you. So what situations are there where you are seeking approval from someone? That's the journal prompt. Whose approval do I seek the most? Practice. Keep one choice private today. So when you make a decision today, keep it to yourself. Hold it close to your chest. You don't have to tell everybody. Keep it to yourself. For me, whenever I start a new project, I don't tell nobody. And I had to learn this because I used to be leaking all over the place. I used to tell everything. I had to share with everybody because, I don't know, I guess a part of me felt like I needed to. However, now I know that when I do start a project, I don't tell anyone. I hold it very close to me and keep it very close to my chest, because you never know what somebody else is thinking about what you're doing. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that they're wishing harm on you or being, don't want the best for you. But sometimes people send energy to you without knowing. Sometimes they're unaware, and you don't need no distraction. You don't need no interference. Think about that. Think about a frequency that's being sent from one place to the next. But when you allow somebody else's energy to get involved, now they're interfering with that frequency. It's no longer the same. So now you might have some static. You might have a break in the frequency, just like the internet. Think about what happens if all of a sudden the signal gets messed up. There's some wind blowing, and now all of a sudden you might have like a problem with your internet because there's something interfering. That's how I think about when I create things. I don't necessarily tell until I solidify my idea, I have learned to keep it to myself. Because even the people that you are the closest to may not think that it's the best thing for you. And it doesn't mean that they don't care about you or they wishing you harm, like I said earlier. But they may not have the same vision, share the same vision that you have. And that's why it's important to keep it. It's like planting the seed. You got to let it grow. You don't want somebody to just come interfere with that. And it's like holding it in your hands. You want to just, when you start telling people, it's like you opening up your finger like sand. It's like sand being in the palm of your hands. And as you open your hands by telling people, open your fingers, it's just draining it out. So just allow it to solidify before sharing with anybody. That's our practice today. Keep one choice private today. Do that for you. The holistic tip is take a quiet pause alone. Take a quiet pause alone. A lot of us become so codependent that we don't know how to be alone. We always feel like we need to have somebody around us. This constant attachment to someone else. But today we're taking a quiet pause alone without justification. Without saying, oh, I need to go do whatever. No, you're just going to step to the side and take a pause. Let them wonder where you are. That has nothing to do with you. But take a pause for yourself today and just sit with yourself. And that's you basically making a decision on your own without having to tell someone or ask for, validation. Like, do you mind if I step aside for a minute? I'm going to go sit in this room. You're waiting for confirmation for someone else to tell you. Just walk away, go to the side, take a pause, and breathe. That's our holistic tip for the day. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. I will see you all tomorrow. We are past halfway, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love. Wow.